we go. That's a little bit better. So we should be going live here relatively shortly. Just gotta make sure everything's up and good here. Yeah, it seems like there's quite a bit of a delay here. I wonder why. Why do this? Oh, there we go. Now we're live. Excellent. So we'll go ahead and pause this. All right. Hello, everyone. My name's Finiapoo, and welcome to March Madness. Yes, this is what I decided to do. The bracket came out not too long ago, and I wanted to do something fun for you guys. This is a little bit different for those of you who do not know what March Madness is. March Madness is a basketball tournament that we have here in the U.S., a college basketball tournament that is basically, it's like 68 teams that are all vying for this national championship spot. And as you can tell, there's quite a bit to it here. And what our job is to do is to guess who's going to end up where out of all that. So like, who's going to lose in the Sweet 16, who's going to be the national champion, who's going to end up in round of 32 and then mess up, or things like that. And then there's also 2 play-in games, but we don't guess the play-in games typically. So yeah, there's a lot that goes with it. I pulled out some statistics to kind of talk about, some statistics to kind of get going here. And we'll go ahead and go through and say here, so right here, I'll kind of read this article. This is from Business Insider. The highest scoring bracket on ESPN has gotten 18 games wrong. That's the highest scoring bracket. And they got 18 games wrong. There's a total of like 63 games. So that kind of tells you the odds here. The attempt at perfection, it turns out, is basically futile. Here are the odds. For those who are doing it completely randomly, basically, let's see here. There are 2 to the 63rd power, or 9 quintillion, 223 quadrillion, 372 trillion, 36 billion, 854 million, 775,808 ways to fill out a bracket. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to fill out a bracket. So basically, if you were just randomly flipping a coin to determine who would get the bracket, you would have a 1 in 9.2 quintillion chance of getting a perfect bracket. Since nobody really picks like that, they've got like seeds and stuff like that that go up against each other. Number 1 will have a better chance against number 16 of winning, type thing. They redid the odds for somebody who would normally do it, and they said those who would do like with practical knowledge have a 1 in 772 billion chance of getting a correct bracket. It's crazy. Let's see here. There's still nine events that are much more likely of getting a perfect bracket with the 1 in 772. I'm just going to read a couple of them here. Randomly selecting this is back in 2013, mind you, that these odds were selected, so these could be a little bit worse or better depending. Let's see, some of them are going to be the same though. Randomly selecting a random living human being and having that be one of the 8 living people who have walked on the moon. randomly selecting a living person who's ever randomly selecting a person who's ever lived on the earth and having that person be Rick Astley. Odds of drawing a royal flush in 5-card poker twice in a row. And selecting a random star in the Milky Way and have it be Alpha Centauri. So you have quite a bit more odds of doing those random things. In fact, you have more odds of getting struck by lightning than you do actually getting a perfect bracket. That's how hard this is. And there's been this ongoing thing that if you get a perfect bracket in a certain situation, you win $1 billion. I don't know if that's the case today or not. Let's see. So really quickly, I'm going to switch back here to just my face cam so I can announce that I'm live streaming right now. Here, so people know. Here we go. Get going. Come on. And there we go. And share. Excellent. So now we'll come out of here and back to here. There we go. Okay, so basically what I'm here to do today is to try to basically beat all odds. I've set up a group here on ESPN.com, and the link is in the description below. Right now, since this is a special live stream, I went ahead and changed the description and everything up a little bit. So the link is in the description below. Feel free to join this. Winners do get prizes, so definitely check this out. I'm going to be live streaming me selecting bracket. You can make up to 10 different brackets, and the winner does get a prize at the end, unless I'm the winner, and then I'll have to treat myself to dinner or something. But the winner does get some sort of prize, so that's yet to be determined what that prize is, but you have until midnight Thursday, essentially, or whenever the first game of the round of 64 starts, to submit your bracket. Any brackets submitted after that, I will discredit. So make sure you do go ahead and get that done so that we can have some fun. And remember, you can do up to 10 brackets, not just one. So I'm going to be live streaming me trying to do all 10 within a relatively short amount of time. So let's go ahead and have a little bit of fun, shall we? So the first bracket I'm going to do is going to be more of a legit bracket. I did a paper bracket here of what I kind of want to see. I'm a huge Oregon fan, and Oregon is #1 seed. So I went ahead and did one where I thought Oregon was going to take it all. I'll probably what I will do is I'll just transfer this onto here. So we've got that going. So let's go ahead, and this first one that I'm going to do is they've got these little information icons. I definitely recommend clicking on them because they give you information about the stats and everything like that. So 30-4 and 18-17. Just looking at that. They were at Indiana and lost by 26. They were at Vanderbilt and lost by 39. And then they've got all this. They're #1, the RPI rank. I look at that too as well, but starting with just the record, Kansas is going to take this one. So I'm going to say Kansas as the first pick there. Colorado, UConn. Let's see here. So we got 22-11 and 24-10. That kind of surprises me that they're #9 and they're #8. So let's see here. 35-37. This is going to be a close game. Let's see. Versus top 25, 1-2, and 2-6. They've had a tougher schedule and have won more games, like relatively speaking. Let's see here. Seed fact. Last time number 9 seeds won more than 2 meetings versus number 8 seeds in a single tournament was 27. Okay, so here's the in-game predictor. This is something else I look at occasionally. Similar games are 50-50, but I just kind of take a look to see how close they are in comparison, power ratings and such like that. Honestly, I think that UConn's got this just because they've been in a few more tournaments and such. So I'll go ahead and pick UConn over Colorado in this case. Maryland and South Dakota State. Oh, another close one. So they've not played a single top 25 team. They've played plenty. They've got the experience. Let's see what the in-game predictor has. Oh yeah, Maryland. I'm gonna take Maryland on that one as well, just because I think that they've got a better experience under their belt. They were rocking the first part of the games and stuff like that. So let's see here. Cal versus Hawaii. So Hawaii has a better record. They're 0-1 versus top 25. They're 2-4. Cal 23-10. They're 27-5. I'm sure that the game predictors got that. This is close. These are close games right here, and then they've had a Cal's had a tough schedule. The whole Pac-12 has just been crazy this year. Probably, I'd personally say one of the hardest conferences and most underestimated conferences in college basketball. In fact, in college in general. Hawaii hasn't had too much, but they've made their games close. Last 12 games are on a 10-2 run. Conference 13-3, 12-6. You know what? I'm gonna actually pick Hawaii on this one. I think Hawaii is gonna upset Cal. I'm gonna need some water, so I will be right back. Make sure in the comments below you're talking about what do you think about my picks and stuff like that, because I definitely want to know. The more I know, the better. Let's see here. Okay, got some water. Okay, now we're in a tough one. So let's go ahead and read this one off. See, right here we've got a play-in game, which makes it difficult to know who's gonna win this game. When there's a play-in game, there's 4 play-in games in the tournament. When there's a play-in game, they don't give you anything here. So there's no summary or anything like that. So yeah, there's not much I can do. I will go ahead and select Arizona, just because it's difficult for this team to win. All right, Miami versus Buffalo. There's really no doubt in my mind who's going to win this game. Miami. Just look at those odds right there. It's just incredibly much in Miami's favor. I don't think Buffalo's got much on them. So Iowa versus Temple. This is going to be a close game. Even though their seeds are pretty far apart, I think this is going to be a relatively close game. Iowa's been on a losing stretch the last 12 games. Temple's coming back. Look at the conference differences here. The only reason Iowa is any high is because they had a nice, strong showing against the top 25. So I'm actually going to say Temple with the upset on this one. Villanova and UNCA. UNCA. Looking at this, this is almost a no-brainer as well. Look at this. Going through conference plays, last 12 game stretch, the ranking, the in-game predictor. This one's almost a no-brainer. I'm going Villanova all day long. All right. So we got this first section going. I want to get to the Final Four here. Right here. Before I move on to the next one, and then we'll leave the Final Four for the picks. Okay. Kansas and UConn. So this first bracket's going to be a little bit of the more look and see who wins. The next 9 are going to be really quick. So here we go. 1 versus 37. Look at this. Look at this. Last 12 games, 12-0. 12-0 in the last 12 games. Holy cow. Only 5 times the 62 meetings. Has 9 seed, defeated a 1 seed. My personal guess on this is that it's going to be... This one I have to really read into a little bit more. So I'm going to say... I'm going to go with Kansas on that one as well. I think Kansas will beat UConn relatively handily and everything like that. So we'll go ahead and go from there. Any comments below? Nothing yet. I don't think people realize I'm live streaming yet. Maryland and Hawaii. Kind of reading into this one a little bit. 25-8, 27-5. However, Hawaii's had a lot easier games. Maryland is pretty tough. Then again, so is Cal, but I think Cal's not going to be on their game in the first bit. I think Maryland's got this one over Hawaii.
Where's your dad?
He's in the other room, I believe. So, all right, Miami and Arizona. This one's going to be a tough one to decide. Relatively similar records, relatively close ranks, stuff like that.
My dad wins.
Oh, gotcha. Look at this. 2 off on the rank. Look at the conference plays. Last 12 games, it's exactly the same. I think on this one, I think Arizona with the upset on this one. Okay, Temple and Villanova. Okay, this one's going to be pretty much over when it starts, I think. I think Villanova's got it pretty quickly. They're pretty much even versus top 25 teams. They've got room for improvement. Look at the ranking differences. I think Villanova's got this one pretty handily. All right, Kansas and Maryland. This is in the Sweet 16 right now. Kansas and Maryland. This is going to be closer. This is going to be relatively closer. Ranks are somewhat close. Last 12 games, there's no contest there. Conference play, it's relatively close, I guess. Excuse me. Let's see. 1 and 5. You know what? I think Maryland's going to pull an upset. I honestly think Maryland's going to pull an upset on this one. Arizona and Villanova. Okay, so this one I have a feeling is going to be a lot closer for Villanova, and they're going to be choking at first. But I believe number 2's got it. I think Villanova's going to win that one. All right, now we are into the Elite 8 for our first pick into the Final Four. Maryland and Villanova. Let's see here. 15-4. Let's see here. 23. 10-2. I think Villanova is going to snap that streak that it said there, that number 5 would beat number 2. So I'm going to send Villanova into the Final Four. Okay. On to the East. We'll go to the East next. Let's see. Hopefully my thing's not in the way. We got UNC versus FGU or FGCU and FDU. So that's a play-in game. That means since it's a play-in game, I'm pretty sure UNC is going to win it for the Tar Heels there. USC versus Providence. This one's going to be relatively close. They're in a tough conference, them not as much. Their ranking is higher, but let's see. 0-6 versus top 25 at 1-7. So they've had more plays. They're 10-8 in conference, 9-9, 5-7, 6-6. Let's see. Villanova, Xavier, Arizona, Michigan State, sent home Butler. Okay. So I'm actually going to say USC. Let me make sure I'm right here on the predictor. They're saying Providence, but I'm thinking USC's got it. I think USC will get it. Indiana versus Chattanooga. 1-1, 2-2. Their rankings. Yeah, it's crazy insane there. I'm going with Indiana for the win. Kentucky versus Stony Brook. I've never heard of Stony Brook. They've not played a top 25 team, and they've gone 50-50. 12-98, 10-2 at 9-3. Yeah, I'm gonna say Kentucky easily, and for some reason I'm just feeling like the higher rank is gonna win in these games here. Normally I like the underdog, but you gotta play it smart. So Notre Dame. Oh, this is another play-in game. So let's see. I'm gonna say Notre Dame. Right. West Virginia versus. Hang on, I didn't read what the other one said before I clicked on it. West Virginia versus SF Austin. Let's see here. 10-70, 7-71. They went perfect in their conference, but you know that's a small conference, relatively speaking. Let's see. Yeah, and everybody else is saying that. So I'm going to go ahead with West Virginia. Let them go. Let's see here. Let's see here. Gotcha. So we got some people coming in and out, so I don't mind that. Let's see here. 40-49. We got Wisconsin versus Pitt. And then we got 99, 12-6. 36-42. Oh, and it's pretty even. I'm actually gonna say Pitt with the upset. This is gonna be the first one on this side where that has the upset. We'll go with Pitt. Xavier versus Weber State. Oh, this one's almost a no-brainer here. Look at these. Look at that. No-brainer. No-brainer. Okay, UNC or USC? Okay, the predictor's not gonna have anything. Let's see. Let's see, 1-43, 5-48. So I'm going to go ahead and say UNC. UNC will take it on this one. So let's see. Indiana and Kentucky. Let's see here. So we got 12-24. I am sorry. Something vibrated here. We'll have to see what it says here. Make sure my camera's still lined up for you. Let's see. Okay. So I've got a couple friends coming over. Let's see here. 12 and 19, 12 and 24. So this is going to be a very close game, 4 and 5. I'm going to take Indiana over Kentucky. Just because I've got a feeling it'll come down to like overtime or something like that, and it'll just end up being that way. Sorry that it's a little bit loud out there. We got some people who decided to rev their engines. Thank you. You don't have to worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. As long as it's not picking it up. Let's see here. See if you rev it.
Oh, it's off now.
Okay.
Actually, when I go tell them when they can not to be so loud.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it too much. So.
Well, his engine's off now, but
yeah.
When they come in, I'll tell them not to be so loud.
It's okay. You like the Finney family, right? Okay. Let's see. Let's see here. So this is also going to be a relatively close game. West Virginia versus Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame's got it. So then Xavier and Pitt. They're not coming in yet. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Let's see, Xavier and Pitt. 3 and 3, 97. I think Xavier's got it. And we'll not upset Pitt because Pitt would have to upset Xavier. Xavier will just run over Pitt. So UNC and Indiana. Let's see here. 119, 5 and 24. Okay, relatively close records. Let's see here. I'm gonna go with. I'm actually gonna go with the first #1 pick to go into that. So 6 and 2. All right, let's see. I'm just making sure things aren't picking up in the background here. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so let's see, I'm going to say Xavier on this one. Pick Xavier to go in. Okay, so 1 and 2. This is going to be a close game, 1 and 2. Just 11 and 2. Oh. I have a feeling that the #1s are going to be a little bit cocky this year. So I'm going to go with Xavier into the Final Four. Down to the West, Oregon versus the play-in. This one's a no-brainer. Oregon's been on a streak as of late. And I have a feeling they are going to do a very good job in overwhelming the play-in game. Look at this, 100%. 100%. There's no doubt. Let's see, St. Joe's versus Cincinnati. I've not heard of St. Joe's before, and they are basically flip-flopped here. I'm going to go with the #9 Cincinnati's, the Bearcats. So Baylor versus Yale. Similar record. Yale's played less games than Baylor, and that's probably what's contributing to the higher seed. Let's see, last 11 games, they're on a streak here. I'm actually gonna go with Yale upsetting Baylor, but they won't get much further than the round of 32. Duke versus UNC Wilmington. We've got 1947. They have not played a top 25. that contributes heavily into what I'm thinking about this bracket. So Duke is going to win that one. And I'm going to say Duke's going to beat Yale. So just so I can get that over with. Pretty handily. You know, looking at the records and everything like that, I'm going to go with that. And then Oregon versus Cincinnati. This is almost a no-brainer as well. Looking at the records and all that, Oregon's going to move on to face Duke. Texas and Northern Iowa. Let's see, 20-12 and 22-12. They played a couple more games. They've been on a streak the past few. They're the same in conference play. They're 2-0, but they're 6-7 versus top 25. So they've played a tough season. I'm actually going to say Texas is going to get a little bit cocky. I normally go Longhorns, but I think Northern Iowa is going to take off Texas because of a little bit of last-minute heroics. We've got TAMU, so Texas A&M versus Green Bay. I'm going to take Texas A&M on this one after reading it. And we'll check how things are going over here. No one's talking. Okay. Let's see. Oregon State versus VCU. Oregon State's got a little bit less of a record here. Let's see. To be honest, I was a little bit surprised about how many teams made it into the bracket, and I was a little bit surprised to hear Oregon State made it in. Not that I'm not happy about it. I support any Oregon team to make it in. But I was just surprised. So, you know, what can I say? VCU, let's see, 24-10. Look at the BPI rank. I don't think Oregon State's really going to beat VCU very handily. But one can hope. So I'm going to say VCU takes off Oregon State. Oklahoma versus CSU Bakersfield. Look at this. Look at this. The differences in the games. They're on a streak here, and the conference is pretty well, but they haven't played a top 25 team. I think Oklahoma's going to hand it to them. All right, Northern Iowa versus Texas A&M. It's going to be a relatively handy game for Texas A&M. I'm going to take Texas A&M. VCU versus Oklahoma. A lot closer game than people would expect. 84-75. I think VCU is going to pull off an upset and take off Oklahoma. Oregon versus Duke. Okay, looking at this here. This is going to be a really close game. 14-4, 11-7. 5-1 versus top 25 teams, and they're 4-5. 10-2 in the last 12. I'm going to take the Ducks on this one. Ducks got it. Texas A&M versus VCU. Again, close. Close. 3-0 versus top 25, 1-2. Similar in the last 12 games, though. Very similar in points per game. I think this is going to come down to turnovers and to very close games. To very close games. So I'm going to go with number 10, VCU on this one. And then Oregon versus VCU. 10-2 and everything like that. Points per game, very close. Similar in the conference play, very similar ranks. I think the only thing that Oregon's got on them is their top 25 play. So I'm going to say Oregon, but not by much. Oregon into the Final Four. So Oregon versus Villanova. We got 29-5 and 28-6. Villanova's got a lot more solid play than Oregon does, keeping their points per game very low. So I'm going to say, and the last 12 games are the same. I'm actually going to say, despite myself, Villanova's got that one over Oregon. Okay, going into the Midwest, UVA versus Hampton. This one's pretty much a no-brainer to me. Villanova or UVA has got that one pretty handily. Texas Tech versus Butler. This one's going to be relatively similar games. You've got back and forth on both sides of the glass. I think it's going to come down to Texas Tech in the last 30 seconds or so, pulling off a nice game-winning shot. Purdue versus Little Rock. I think Purdue's got this one relatively easily in the bag, but if you look at conference play, and the points per game, opponents' points per game, keeping it relatively low over here, they could put up quite the fight. So I'm actually going to say Little Rock has got that and pulls off the upset over Purdue. Iowa State versus Iona. I always forget how to pronounce that correctly. So let's see here. Let's go. So we've got 2 and 8, and they don't have any on the top 25. Let's see. Their points per game, everything like that. Now that I think about it, I will probably... Let me change the name of the live stream here really quick. I'm going to break this up a little bit. And we will make this a number 1 here. Live stream 1. So change the name here. We'll refresh this page. Let's see. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and get that set up the way it should be here. Make sure this is frozen in time, space. And we'll go ahead. Let's see here. And let's see. BPI rank. Everything like that. 5 and 7 in the last 12, 11 and 1. I think Iona is going to take it. Iona is going to take it. So it's going to be a 12 versus 13. It's going to be a very interesting matchup right there. Seton Hall versus Gonzaga. I'm looking at all this. 3 and 3 versus top 25. That is impressive. And it's mostly Hall, but they say Gonzaga for a little bit. I think Gonzaga's got it since they are a little bit of a bigger name, and Seton Hall's or Seton Hall or however you want to pronounce it won't hold up. Utah versus Fresno State. Sorry for all of you out in Cali. Let's see, 9:30. Utah, I think, is going to hold this one pretty handily, and straight across like that. So we got Dayton, Syracuse, 2040, 69. Let's see, 8 and 4, 6 and 6. It's going to be a pretty even matchup, it looks like. I think Dayton's got it, though, just out of everything else. Michigan State versus Mid-Tennessee. 4, 135, 11 and 76. 5 and 1, 0 and 0. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There's no contest. Michigan State will have this one pretty easily over Mid-Tennessee. UVA versus Texas Tech. Compare the stats and everything. UVA is going to have this pretty easily over Texas Tech, it looks like, just from keeping everything down. Look at that, 59 points per game, or opponent's points per game versus UVA. I think UVA is going to hold that one pretty strong. Little Rock versus Iona. No top 25 experience. Points per game here. I think Iona's going to get it, but I think that's about as far as they're going to get. Gonzaga versus Utah. Utah, man, am I. I think Utah's got it pretty easily. Look at the rankings. They have more top 25 experience over Utah. So, let's see. So I'm going to say, yeah, Utah, man, am I. I'm going to go with Utah. Utah all day, every day. We got Michigan versus Dayton, or Michigan State versus Dayton. I think Michigan State's going to get it pretty easily. So it's going to be 2 versus 3. UVA versus Iona. UVA is going to hand it to Iona after Iona's had a nice long stretch into the Sweet 16. So UVA gets it. Utah versus Michigan State. This is going to be a close game, I believe. If you look at it here, their points per game, but their average down. Ooh. I think Michigan State's going to take Utah down. So it's UVA versus Michigan State, 1 versus 2. It's going to be a relatively nice fight into the end, but I think Michigan State, being on a hot run that they are, is going to take down UVA so that there's only number 2s and then the number 1 into the playoffs, to the Final Four. So I already have Villanova taking over Oregon. Xavier versus Michigan State. This is going to be a nice game. Points per game and opponents' points per game. Offense is going to rule this game by far. It's basically a flip-flop between the two. I think Xavier's going to pull a nice little upset over Michigan State, making it Villanova versus Xavier. And then Villanova is going to win it pretty handily over Xavier. I'm going to say the final score for the Villanova versus Xavier game will be 76 to 73. I think it's going to come down to a 3-point play at the end. And submit. All right. So that is my first official bracket. I hope you all kind of like how that's going. I'm going to do my other brackets a little bit later tonight when more of you are on. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and pause it. I'll say create another bracket so it's ready to go. And I will go to my groups, to the Finney fans. And we've got that one set up. I wanted to create another bracket. I said create another bracket. Why? Do I have to go over here? And then, yeah, I have that finished. But I wanted another bracket. Can't I create another bracket? Oh, right there. Create another bracket. Alright, go back to the Finney fans now that I know how to do that. Alright, so I will be back. Let's say, we'll go ahead and forego City Skylines until tomorrow. For now, let's see, I will be back at 11 p.m. So in 2.5 hours, I will be back with live streaming me doing the brackets. So hope you enjoyed this. If you do, hit that like button, comment below, and subscribe so that you know. Like me on Facebook so that I'm able to tell you when those things happen. And as always, I'm Finney Pooh, and I'm signing off. Take care, everybody.